It's a Sunday on Mansfield today, and as usual, we get into the leisure options of things, one of which is technology and gaming. The associate editor of Stuff is Nick Khan, and he joins us once again. Nice to have you with us, Nick. Now, last week, and we couldn't get to it in time, you picked up a story in the Daily Telegraph which you started explaining to me on the phone, and I thought to myself, this sounds very, very scary. And it turns out it is. Tell us about Pegasus.
Okay, well, to give credit where credit's due, the story I picked up was in The Guardian, although the Telegraph has covered a couple of items of it. But The Guardian went full widescreen, and they did something called the Pegasus Project, which I'd urge a lot of people to read. What Pegasus is a piece of spyware that installs itself on your phone. And once it's on your phone, it has access to everything. And by everything, I mean everything. It can read your, if I've installed it, for example, I can read your emails, I can read your SMSs, I know where you are if you've got your GPS turned on. If you're using WhatsApp or Telegraph or Signal or any other encrypted chat apps, that won't save you because I'm already behind those, so I can read what you're saying to your friends. And also, if you're, say, for example, in the government or you're in the municipality, I can read those as well. I can even turn on your microphone and your camera, and you would be none the wiser. I could probably just listen to your conversation that you're having in your kitchen with your loved ones if the phone is anywhere near you, and can pick you up.
But Nick, surely let's go back on two things here. WhatsApp says that is encrypted, it's end-to-end encrypted. And when you switch on your mic or your camera, in most cases, you are alerted to it by a light. Are you trying to say that this thing is so deep and dark that it's even behind all of those walls that you already have in your possession?
In a word, yes. It's essentially, once it's in your phone, it's behind those apps. So it has access to everything. And here's the scary part. And I know what you're about to say. This is the scary part? Yes, this is the scary part. In the past, when Pegasus was going to invade your phone, the people using it would use a tactic called spear phishing. Now, what spear phishing is, and we've probably all been either a potential victim or a victim of it, where you get an erroneous email or an erroneous text or an erroneous SMS. And what it says is, say, for example, book your COVID-19 test, or you could win this, that, and the other, or your tax return hasn't been filed properly. Click on this link. Now, if you go to the addresses or the phone numbers of people who have sent you that, and you notice, hang on, this doesn't look legit at all, you probably are, potentially the victim of spear phishing. If you click on those links, usually what happens is it opens up your device to any invasive software that person wants to install through a back door. That's how it used to work back in 2016. According to the reports on The Guardian, what happens now is that it is installed through what is known as zero-day exploits, which are security holes in your software and your hardware that the manufacturers themselves may not have been aware of by the time the product went to market. So you don't actually even have to click on a link or answer a call for this thing to be installed.
So, okay, firstly, who would be installing these? Do we know who is installing these? And who do we have to thank for it?
Well, I think thank's a kind of erroneous term, but...
bloody right it is.
Spyware was created by an Israeli surveillance firm called NSO. It started out as just a bloke who wanted to find out whether or not his iPhone could be fixed remotely if it had a bug in it. And that opened the door to what became Pegasus, which is this invasive spyware. Now, to give NSO its due, what it says is this software was created to combat terrorism and to combat organized crimes. And it says it only licenses this software to governments that have, quote unquote, a good human rights track record. What's worrying is that what's come up in The Guardian is that there have been stories, for example, that the King of the United Arab Emirates may have used this technology to track down his daughter who ran away. Journalists in Mexico have had their phones targeted in this fashion. According to the documents on The Guardian, the French President Macron has had his device, if not infected, then certainly targeted as a person of interest. And the same goes for our own president, Cyril Ramaphosa. So yeah, it's quite invasive. Now, once again, to give NSO its due, it's denied any of these sort of things, but it's also maintained the fact that it doesn't monitor what the data that the clients that are using this for, what sort of data they collected and what devices they infect. What they have said, though, is that the list released by The Guardian, which was also compiled in conjunction with a journalistic conglomerate called Forbidden Stories and Amnesty International, doesn't bear any sort of resemblance to reality. And also they're considering their legal options. So we'll see how this plays out. But if The Guardian is to be believed, and they're a pretty staunch news source and very reliable, we should be very, very worried.
Yeah, and as you say, there's no way of knowing that it's been installed on your phone.
Not unless you're up to date with security measures and you're up to date with hacking. Sorry to be such a downer to your audience. I promise I'll bring a game by next time.
I think you're better, because the last few weeks, admittedly, they're important things for people to know and people to be aware of. But the last few weeks have been a bit sort of, downhill. Right, you go find a game and bring a game along, and we'll, for want of a better phrase, we'll play with each other next weekend. Nick.
Right. Thanks for having me.
Nick Cowan, Associate Editor of Stuff. And it is a very, very scary story, especially in view of the fact that you don't even know that it's happening to you or could be happening to you. So one of the things is to stay up to speed with your security aspects on everything that have to do with your mobile phone and your network at home, to make sure that you are keeping yourself safe from things like this. We'll catch you, hopefully, with a game next week with Nick Cowan. Cherry bye.